What's going on, YouTube? Been a while since I've recorded on the channel, but as I'm sure many of you guys would have known if you listen to the podcast, you guys would know that we're back during this preseason bye week between the start of the NFL regular season. So since there wasn't a ton of podcast content to make, I figured I would make a YouTube exclusive video. So make sure, if you found the YouTube channel first, make sure to go check out my podcast. Link will be linked down below. And if you're from the podcast, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and drop a like and subscribe as well. So without further ado, let's just get started right into what this video is. It's going to be the NFL Division Rankings, so I'm going to go who I think is going to finish first, second, third, and fourth in every single division on this little tier maker website. So overall, let's just start off with the Detroit Lions. I'm going to have them finishing first, obviously. Coming off of a great year, I think that they just really continued to improve their team over the draft and free agency, and I still think they're the best team in the NFC North. I have them finishing first with around 12 or 13 wins. Coming in second place, give me the Green Bay Packers. I think that Jordan Love is going to have a really good second year. That offense, they did lose Aaron Jones, but they did get Josh Jacobs, so some potential in the running back position, and not the best wide receiver core, but definitely a solid one nonetheless. So I do think that with the experience they have with Jordan Love, that will give them an edge over third place, which I have the Bears. Now, I do know that Caleb Williams is looking really good. That offense is going to be really good, but it's the first year all of those guys are together. They need to get 1 year down to get their chemistry right. I think they finished with 9 wins approximately. Now, I do think this team is going to be a threat to the Packers and the Lions and even the rest of the division, but I do think that the Bears, they are going to be a good team, but I do think they will need a year to kind of figure out, their chemistry, what their team is going to be like, and just really figure out how that whole system over there is going to work, which bringing up fourth place, none other than the Minnesota Vikings. Now, it would have been a little bit more competitive if their starting quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, wasn't injured, but since that's the case, he got injured, torn meniscus, he's out for the season, so that kind of puts their season in jeopardy a little bit. We'll see what Sam Darnold can do. However, with that being the case, I am going to put the Vikings in fourth place. I do think that this is going to limit Justin Jefferson's ability to have as good a season, since he won't have as good of a quarterback throwing him the ball, and it may want him to leave, considering that Minnesota has had quarterback problems these past few seasons. Now, let's move on to the AFC North. Give me the Baltimore Ravens to finish first. I think that they played a really, really good season last year. Just fell up short in the championship game. They added Derrick Henry to their backfield, which he, in my opinion, is just right behind Christian McCaffrey in terms of the best running backs in the league. So I think they're going to have a monster backfield. That option run is really going to trick defenses. And again, they still have an elite wide receiver core with Zay Flowers. I think they still have Odell Beckham, no, he might have signed with the Dolphins. Either way, Mark Andrews in that receiving core as well. Lamar Jackson, obviously a really good quarterback, so I'm going to have them first. Finishing second, give me the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow coming off of an injury. I think people are forgetting how good this team was before he got injured. They made it to the Super Bowl, and they still have Jamar Chase, so I do think that Joe Burrow will be able to succeed in that type of offense now. I think coming back, it will be a little bit rough for them, but I overall think that, they'll be able to pull out ahead. And then in third place, give me the Browns. I think this team has some potential with Deshaun Watson. I don't think their team is perfect, and especially with Nick Chubb still being on the fence about that injury, he's going to miss the first 4 weeks. If he comes back, will he be at his maximum playing potential? That's a big question that needs to be answered for the Browns. So I do think that the Browns have some potential this season. Maybe they make a wild card in the playoffs, but they have a very competitive division with Baltimore and Cincinnati, so I just don't see it happening with the Browns. I think that they have some potential. I could see it happening. Amari Cooper, Nick Chubb, maybe Deshaun Watson. Can't forget Myles Garrett on the defense. So they have the players. I just think that compared to where they are right now in their quote-unquote rebuild, maybe compared to how these other teams in the divisions are stacking up, I just think that it's going to be a little bit too much of an uphill climb for them. And then finishing fourth place, give me the Steelers. Now, I know they got Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. However, throughout the preseason, those guys haven't really looked up to their full potential that I think they could have. And I think they still haven't announced their starting quarterback up to my knowledge. So I think that they're kind of going to be the last place team in the division simply because their quarterback position is still a big question of even whoever they name the starter, will they live up to the expectations? And B, their roster. They still have guys like TJ Watt on the defense, and George Pickens and Najee Harris. But depending on how that quarterback situation is that quarterback going to be able to get them the ball? We've seen Russell Wilson take a decline in the years past, and we've seen Justin Fields. He got demoted to what's looking like a backup position after the Bears traded him, and Justin Fields was put into not the best Bears offense, but definitely a solid one with Cole Kmet and Darnell Mooney. I know that Darnell Mooney didn't play there his last year, but still, he was put into an offense that had success if he really put his best shot into it, which he didn't. So I think that being the case with the Steelers here, I'm going to have them finishing out bottom. Next, let's move on to the NFC South. I'm going to take the Buccaneers to win first place here. They looked really, really good last year. Baker Mayfield definitely rejuvenated his career there. I think that, he's got a good wide receiving core in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And I think that defense, Todd Bowles likes to bring the blitz. I think that's their signature thing. And I think they're not the best defense, obviously, but I think they are a good defense. And when you look at how the rest of the division stacks up against them, I'm pretty confident that they will have, the ability to win the division, considering that most of the other teams besides the Falcons, which I'll get into in just a second, are still trying to rebuild. So I think the Buccaneers have an edge in that rebuild simply because they were able to get it done quickly with their guy Baker Mayfield. So I'm going to take them to win first place in that division. Bringing up second place, however, give me the Atlanta Falcons. They have Kirk Cousins, obviously, and Bijan I think is going to get his real first year as a running back. Under the Falcons' former head coach, who I can't remember the name of as of right now. He didn't really incorporate Bijan Robinson as much as Bijan could have been incorporated. So I think that now that they've got a new coach, I think he'll kind of see the talent in Bijan Robinson, and he'll be able to kind of really put him into that offense where he'll be able to succeed. They also have a pretty solid wide receiver core with, who is it? Is it, no, not Pickens, Drake London, that's the guy. He's pretty good. They also drafted, some pretty good guys, except for Michael Penix in the first round. I still don't understand that first round pick, but I think this offense is looking really good. The defense is looking pretty good. Might make the playoffs. Again, I could see them not making the playoffs. I think could go either way. But again, I think the way they stack up in their division, they might be able to sneak into that wild card round. In third place, give me the Saints. Derek Carr, I think, is still on the Saints, or maybe he went back to the Raiders, but I'm pretty sure he's still on the Saints. They also did get a new backup quarterback. I can't remember his name either right now, but he could potentially be competing for the starting job. So I think that that's some new light for the New Orleans fans, considering that it's been a rough couple of years for him. Ever since the Drew Brees era, in my opinion, they haven't really reached what they were. And I think that they have guys like Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara, so the offensive weapons, are there. But I think it's really just the guy under center, the quarterback. Once they find that missing piece, I feel like they'll be able to really start clicking. Now, whether that be Derek Carr or their new backup quarterback, that'll be, a question for during the season. We'll have to see how they perform. Right now, I don't think that even if it is the new guy that might be the problem solver, I'm not sure if this year is his year. It usually takes the rookies about 1 year to warm up. Obviously, guys like Jordan Love and CJ Stroud fit in perfectly, but you saw it with Jared Goff when he came to the Lions. You saw it with Bryce Young and the Panthers. It takes him a year to get warmed up into the system, which I think might be the case for the New Orleans quarterback. Then next up, we've got the Carolina Panthers. I have them finishing last. I do think they'll be better than they were last year. I think Bryce Young, now that he's played 1 year into the league, will really be able to fit in and stuff. But again, I just don't think that team has improved overall as a whole. Maybe 6 or 7 wins for me, but I'm just not sure that this year is going to be their year to get it done. Next up, let's move to the AFC South. In first place, give me the Texans. I really like what they did over the offseason, getting guys like Danielle Hunter, Stephon Diggs, guys like those. Joe Mixon, I think they got him, the running back who played for the Bengals in years past. So I think their GM did a really good job over the offseason. CJ Stroud still coming back strong. I think they'll win first place. In second place, give me the Jaguars. I know that they kind of had a rough year last year. I'm pretty sure they missed the playoffs. Finished with, I think it was 8 wins. I still think that this team has a lot of potential, though. Still got Trevor Lawrence and a really good offense, Travis Etienne in the backfield. So I think that they have some potential. I just think they need to win when it matters. They've got to finish the season strong, which they weren't able to do last year. So I think if they can fix that, finish the season strong, and then really try and win their divisional games against the Texans, I think that'll really help them out this year. In third place, give me the Colts. Now, I know that Anthony Richardson is still, developing, but I think that he has, a shot to do something good. And, I really think that this team has a chance to improve with, Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. I think that he's put into an offense that has potential. Now, he has thrown a lot of crazy interceptions in preseason, but I still think that he will have a solid, really first season, considering he got injured in week 5 of last year and they had the whole Gardner Minshew thing. So I think they'll finish third in the AFC South. And then fourth, give me the Titans. I like the Titans. I think they're a fun team to watch, especially a few years ago with Derrick Henry. Now, I know that they have the quarterback in Will Levis, and while they did lose Derrick Henry, I think they have some potential. But Will Levis, he's got DeAndre Hopkins, obviously, but that's really the only, go-to throwing target he has. So I think Tennessee still needs to build an offense around him, but I think that he's the guy under center. He looked pretty solid in preseason. I think that he is the guy for the foreseeable future for at least the next few years. So now I think Tennessee just needs to build an offense around him. And the only reason I have them finishing last really is just because I think they're put right now in a really competitive division. You've got teams like Houston and Jacksonville who are both lobbying for first place, and then you've got the Colts who could sneak into second. I could see it happening, but will likely finish third. So I could see the Titans finishing third, maybe even second if they're lucky, but my prediction right now is at third. Let's move on to the NFC West next. I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers to win first place. I feel like this one, you could argue it could be the Rams, but I still feel like the 49ers are one of the best teams in the NFC, arguably the best, with Brandon Ayuk, who has some trade speculation, but every year it's the one guy who drags it until the last day of the offseason before signing with somebody. I'm sure he'll go back to the 49ers. I honestly don't really care at this point since it's just been one big media troll throughout the most part. But they've got Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Brock Purdy. It's literally a real-life fantasy football team that I think they've got going on there. So, and then on defense, Nick Bosa, Draymond Green, maybe. I don't know. The last guy's name is Green. But they've got some good guys on the defensive side of the ball. So I think that they'll have a chance to do something really good in this season. But when it comes to playing Detroit, I don't think they'll have the last laugh. Moving on to second place, give me the LA Rams. This team showed a lot of potential. I can't say I'm happy. I can't say I'm sad they got knocked out of the playoffs. I was kind of happy because the Lions won. I'm still salty about the Stafford situation. I don't really support him. I've kind of moved on. Jared Goff is my guy right here. So I'm not really a Rams fan, but if you look at it from the way their roster is, I think they are a good team. I think they've got Matthew Stafford, hopefully for a full year without injury, unless Aiden Hutchinson decides to be really vicious, which could happen. I think that Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are obviously going to be their really good wide receivers. So I think the offense has a good shot. My question is the defense. Losing Aaron Donald over the offseason, that's going to be tough due to retirement. So that's why I don't have them finishing first, is mainly for that reason. In third place, give me Seattle. I think that they improved a little bit. They didn't do too much. But I think when it comes to the Cardinals, I think they're better than them. I think that offense is still pretty solid with Geno Smith and Tyler Lockett. They've got some shifty wide receivers. So I think they'll finish third. And then fourth place, give me the Arizona Cardinals. I know they got Marvin Harrison Jr., and they still have Kyler Murray at quarterback, but I still think that team has some holes to fill. Lions are playing them week 3, so we'll see. Maybe they start off the season really good and I end up being wrong, but that's my prediction for the NFC West. Moving on to the AFC West. The one time I can't remember the division. Oh yeah, Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, I don't think that's really questioned. Do I really have to explain myself there? Second place, give me the Chargers. I think Jim Harbaugh. I'm a Michigan fan. I've seen the guy coach for a couple of years now. He definitely knows what he's doing. He brought a college team to a national championship. Not sure if he'll be able to do that this year with the Chargers, but I think that he's a good coach. So I think that team will be able to succeed this season. In third place, give me Denver. I think that Bo Nix looked really, really good in the preseason, especially in that game against the Packers. So I think that he's going to have a really good year. And I think that that team overall, especially with Sean Payton being in the picture, has a potential. I don't really like Sean Payton's personality, especially the way he treated Russell Wilson last year. I kind of lost a lot of respect for him, but I do think he is a good coach. He knows what he's doing. I think that when it comes to the rest of the division, though, they just don't stack up. They might be able to finish like second, maybe, but I just don't see it happening against the Chargers and the Chiefs. Maybe they'll sneak into the wild card round, but I don't think so. And then in fourth place, give me the Raiders. They just didn't look too electric in the preseason. Devontae Adams, in my opinion, is still pretty upset that they haven't found a quarterback who can get him the ball. We'll see about Gardner Minshew, but I'm just not really sure if he's going to be able to be the guy, because nobody has really been able to give Devontae a successful career in Las Vegas. But we'll see if maybe this is the year. But I just have them finishing bottom. I think the division is too strong, and I just don't think they improved enough over the season. Let's move on to the NFC East, not NFC East. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles to finish first. I think that they have, or no, actually, give me the Dallas Cowboys. As much as I hate to say it, they, I think, are a good team. Unfortunately, it just pains me to say that, because I really hate the Cowboys. I know that Jerry Jones is a hypocrite and will not sign CeeDee Lamb whatsoever. I know he just did, but it took him forever. But I still think Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, I think that that's a pretty tough offense to beat. Micah Parsons on the defense. I think that, they've got a pretty loaded roster. And the reason I almost picked Philly to go first was simply because I think they'll finish second, but they finished first that other year. They still have a really good offense, but I think just what from we saw last year, they just didn't seem to have that same spark that they did the year before when they went to the Super Bowl. I think that Jason Kelce retiring is definitely going to affect their offensive line. However, I do think that they're a pretty good team. Definitely will make the wild card round. But we'll see. They got bounced out first round last year. They've got some potential to improve, but we'll see. They're kind of on the fence for me. In third place, give me Washington. Jaden Daniels, he's the quarterback there. I think he'll be in an offense that has a chance to succeed with Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson. I think those guys will be able to be some good receivers for him. So that's my thoughts on how Washington will do. They're kind of an interesting team to watch this year. And fourth place, give me the Giants. Now, I know they got Malik Neighbors. I know they had a solid draft, but for me, the big question is Daniel Jones. He's had injury problems in the past. They're paying him a boatload of money. If he gets injured, man, your season's basically done, because Tommy DeVito, I know that he had a great game last year, but he wasn't able to get it done for the Giants. So I really think that's the big question for me, is the quarterback situation for New York. Now, last but not least is the AFC East. In first place, give me the Buffalo Bills. I'm not a big Buffalo Bills fan, but anytime they're on, I will generally root for the Bills to succeed. I really like Josh Allen. I think he's a great guy, a great character. I really have respect for Sean McDermott. I think their division will definitely be a little competitive this year, but I still think they pull out ahead, even though they lost Stephon Diggs. I think they've still got a chance to be one of the greater teams this year. In second place, give me the Miami Dolphins. Now, a lot of people are hyping up the Jets. They want the Jets to be first or second. Now, first up, I just can't take a quarterback who thinks Vladimir Putin has some great points seriously. I kid you not, Aaron Rodgers said that. Google it. So, their quarterback, I don't know what's flowing through his veins, but it's definitely not anything legal, that's for sure. So I just can't trust him. I think he's kind of become, part of my language, but a douchebag on that team. He's kind of become self-centered. He's got a big ego. Kind of, not a guy that I think players could respect. If I were playing for him, I certainly wouldn't enjoy it. So I think that locker room chemistry is definitely going to be not the best one there. And I also think, skill level. Sure, they've got Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall. They do have the guys, but it's like they got to stack up against Miami and Buffalo. And this is really Aaron Rodgers' first year in New York. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how it goes out, but I just can't see them getting second or first. And then finally, give me the New England Patriots. They announced Jacoby Brissett as the starting quarterback, so their first-round pick, Drake May, is going to take some time to develop. And again, I just don't see many other points around that roster that could work out. They have Gerard Mayo as their head coach now, no longer Bill Belichick. Their dynasty is officially over. I just don't see it happening. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is my prediction for all of the NFL divisions, who I think will finish first, second, third, and last. Take a picture. I'll keep it pinned on my Twitter. We'll see how right I am or wrong I am. But, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And make sure to check out my podcast and Twitter. Link are in the description below. And make sure, if you're feeling extra generous, to donate to the GoFundMe, where I will be uploading a full game day video vlog for you. If we get to the amount, I'll go to a Lions playoff game and make that vlog and upload it right here on this channel. So make sure, if you're feeling extra generous, to go donate to that. But, however, that's going to be it for today's video. So I will see you in the next one.